We just finished filming this video and then I realized like I wanted to give credit to someone but didn't, so we're doing it now and then we'll start the beginning of the video. But basically this video is very heavily inspired by Damon Dominique, who we both love his content.
He's so good. His editing,
yeah,
he's so good.
yeah, it's on point. So anyway, he does these like wine talks, red wine talks with different people, and they talk about various topics. So we just wanted to get in on the fun and do something similar. So that's why we have orange wine today.
Orange.
So I guess
skin contact. A little different, but whatever.
Oh, skin okay.
It's when the skin of human flesh
Ew.
meet. No, it's a Sauvignon Blanc, but
which is a white wine.
And essentially they keep the skins on, like when they're fermenting, a little bit longer. So then it kind of creates a deeper, like maybe a more orangey hue.
Okay. So this is a skin contact wine talk, but that sounds really gross. So anyway, I just wanted to give credit where credit was due because that's what inspired this video. So we just want to make sure we gave a shout out. So
Damon, if you're watching, we love you.
I would die. Is that too much?
No, I would die with
Hi, I'm kchoi. Welcome back to my channel. I'm obviously in a different location. I'm in my backyard with my friend Megan.
Hello.
And if you've been subscribed to me for the past couple of years, you would have seen Megan make some appearances on my channel. We did a video about grad school. We did a video. She's been in my vlogs when I went to Paris and Seattle. And you would have seen her in a recent vlog because she just got engaged recently. On that note, we're gonna talk today just about long distance relationships. We've both been in long-term, long-distance relationships and are now also both engaged. So we just thought we would chat about our experience, you know, give some unsolicited, unqualified advice. And
unqualified.
Yeah, emphasis on unqualified.
We met, I believe, in December of 2015 and like kind of started hanging out January of 2016. So it's been 4.5 years.
4.5 years. And then when were you long distance? Did you move right away?
He was, no, a year later.
Okay.
I feel like that's really long, but you're like,
that's about the same. That's about
really?
the same. Yeah, because it's just we were dating longer before that and weren't long distance. So we started dating December 2012. 12.
Yeah.
We were basically not long distance, but then like for a few months I was still up in Berkeley and then he moved down to LA. And then I moved back after I graduated. In 2016, September 2016 is when I went to London. So then that was a little before 4 years, like before a 4-year anniversary.
Yeah.
Then I moved to London. And then so since then we've been long distance since September 2016. So coming up on 4 years. So about half of our relationship has been long distance.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's actually about the same in terms of amount of being long distance.
Yeah.
But that's interesting because more of your relationship like has been long distance.
A lot more.
Like the majority of it.
Yeah, exactly. The majority of it. I've only had a year with him.
One difference is I've had to deal with time zone. So that's like
I can't even imagine what that's like because sometimes even with our no time zone it still feels disconnecting. But yeah, I can't even imagine not only the East Coast West Coast thing but like the
London and
LA
and there's like the distance factor where you just can't see each other all the time, and then if you add on the time zone that just makes it like a little more complicated.
Yeah, I would say like at least a year together is probably good. Again, I mean,
everyone's different.
Everyone's totally different, but at least that year that you get with that person, you like sort of work out all the kinks or like you actually know each other a little bit better than if you were just dating for 3 months and then, you know, you ended up moving somewhere. So I would say like at least a year would be good.
So that was helpful for you.
That was very helpful for us,
What are the benefits that you found through being long distance, if any?
I know no benefits at all. I mean, hindsight's always 20/20, right? You know what it's kind of analogous to? It's kind of like community college, I feel, where like where at the moment you don't, like, you know, no one's actually that excited necessarily to go to community college, especially like when your friends around you are going into, you know, their respective colleges, and they're going away and they're having all these experiences. So no one's like super gung-ho about going to community college. But afterward, I feel really great and lucky that I did, because I saved money, I, you know, stayed close to home, and I kept up with like my family and all of those things. But again, pros and cons to everything. So I feel like that's how long distance was, where like, I say was like as if it's not happening now, but
still is, yeah.
yeah, when you're in it day to day, you feel bummed out because you can't see them, or like, you know, your friends are going off on Saturday nights doing movie night or whatnot, and you can't really do that. But now, after, or like at the tail end of long distance, it kind of feels like really good, because we got to grow individually, but also together, obviously, because you're talking daily. But yeah, you kind of get to like do your own thing and explore your own ways and things like that. So yeah, I think it turned out all right.
Yeah.
Do you feel the same?
I agree. Like, you can do your own thing. You can like focus on like your career, because, you know, we were like in our young 20s when we started dating, right? And so you're really trying to figure all that stuff out in terms of your career. So you can focus on that. The other thing is, like, when you're long distance, then when you actually do get to see each other, you can have like 100% focused time.
Yes.
And that I love.
Yes. Yeah. It's so good. Again, it's like a double-edged sword, right? And we can talk about this, but like, it's so amazing because the few days out of the month, or the 1 week out of a season that you see your significant other, it's incredible, because you get to now experience, it's like dating someone from the start all over again. So it's amazing, and it was amazing. But then I think once that started getting into like year 3, year 3.5, year 2, you know, when there's kind of this pressure to like always do the coolest things, or you know, like we have to plan that week for it to be perfect, because that's the only week we have. Then I started getting like jealous of people just like doing laundry with their boyfriend, or, you know, just, I don't know, getting McDonald's instead of like, you're like, actually we got McDonald's all the time.
When you said like when you get to like year 3, it was making me think that like as the years go on, like when you see them, when you're like having your weekend or week together, like you're like that much more excited, but then when you leave, you're like that much more sad, and it gets like, you know, like the chart, like
yes. Are you gonna draw a chart that goes like this? What's funny is like from friends or from family members, you know, they ask about me and Sean or whatnot, and they say like, oh, but like, you know, you're getting used to it, right? Like you know, you guys are seeing each other, and you guys are separating, and you're doing this, and you've now done this for X amount of years, and you're used to it now, right? And it's like, actually, no, it gets worse and worse and worse. I think this whole video or this whole conversation is gonna be about how it was amazing, but then it was also horrible.
How do you like balance between relationship, career, family, friends?
I don't know. I think if I had the answer to that one, I'd be like a New York Times bestseller. I feel like oh my god, it's so bad.
Where is it?
No, it's over there.
I like felt something on my butt.
No matter what stage of life we were in, a successful relationship in general, but a successful long distance relationship, I think consists of, and not to sound super cliche, but you have to be like your own individual person. I think you have to like understand like where you stand in your life, wherever that is, a little bit better. And then once you're apart, you're okay. What was the question? Oh, how you balance. Everything. Yes.
I feel like with balance, it's, first of all, it's a personal thing in terms of what balance you want in your life, because some people will just lean more towards like, especially like maybe if you're early in the relationship, like most of your focus is on your significant other.
Yeah.
Or maybe you're like both doctors and you're in your first year of residency or something, then like you know that your focus is going to be more on work.
Yes.
So I feel like first of all, that's a personal thing in terms of balance. It's not like everybody wants to have the exact same amount of attention for every aspect of their life.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. And then the second is like, if you have that individual idea of your ideal balance, you just have to communicate that with the other person, and then hopefully you're mostly on the same page.
Yeah.
You know, and are able to work that out. You were saying earlier, like the community college example of how, like in hindsight, you're grateful for certain things.
Yeah.
So, do you think that everyone should go through long distance at least once?
Ooh, that is a hard question because I think it's biased.
I can take a stab at it first because I asked
first.
it. I wouldn't say that everyone like should go through long distance as like a rite of passage type of thing. Like, definitely not that. Because it's just hard. Like, you're just adding this like additional layer of challenges to your relationship when relationships are already like really hard work. So I wouldn't say like everyone should go through it once, because I don't want to like wish that onto like Christine, for example, our friend Christine. They're like so in love, and like, I would not want them to be apart. You know. But if like, I would say if someone is in a relationship and then there's the possibility or like the upcoming situation where they're going to be long distance, then I would say like that it's okay, you know, to do it, and that you're going to learn a lot through it. Yeah. And it could actually be a positive for your particular relationship. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. That's perfect. I don't think I would ever say on purpose, please separate, and you know. But if someone said like, hey, my boyfriend and I are gonna go through long distance because he got a job somewhere, or he's studying abroad or whatnot, like, should we break up or what should we do? I would tell them that you can do this. And I would be there with a lot of wine for them and say, listen, this is what helped me through.
When did you and how did you start talking about like getting married?
Ooh. I mean, like, admittedly, in the beginning, we weren't all that serious.
Well, yeah, it took you forever to even, like, admit that you were in a relationship. The whole time I was like, so what is he your boyfriend? Is he, like...
Everyone's like, he's your boyfriend. I'm like, no, there are no labels in this relationship. I can, like... the rolling eyes emoji like on myself. It just started out as like a saying here or there. Like, Sean used to say this thing where, because we obviously have to take flights to like see each other. So when he's leaving and he gets on a flight, he'll tell me never to remarry. Like, you know, if he doesn't make it. Or like if I go, then I'll say like I'll never remarry or something like that. And that was like way before we actually started talking about marriage.
And sometimes also it's kind of like testing each other's reaction, maybe even to see if they're like completely like what or they like play along into it.
Exactly.
So yeah, there's like an element of playfulness there. And then in terms of like when it gets serious, like you just have the conversation, I guess. It just kind of comes up. I can't remember like the exact like moment, but I just know like the time frame. You know? What is it like now being engaged during a pandemic?
It's weird. All the normal things that I've seen my friends go through, like the normal progression of things, like you get engaged and then you like celebrate with your friends and then you like celebrate with your family and then your families meet and then, you know, like all the normal order of things kind of like went out the window. There's like zero planning. I'm not even considering or thinking about what a wedding is going to look like or what any of those things are going to look like, because I just have no idea what's going to happen.
It's like I had to like adapt my plan to like the circumstances where you can't even start it because we don't even know like what the world's going to look like.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
it's very interesting.
So then for you, did you feel... Can you like walk us through your feelings of like how it felt?
Yes, I can. So we basically finished all the planning in like January, February. So that was like booking all the vendors, like making all the deposits. We finished really early. So we finished like February, so like 8 months before our wedding.
Yeah.
So we were just like cruising. Then it was March and things were going into lockdown. Like all, friends' weddings were getting canceled, like weddings that were in April and May.
Yeah.
And so at that time we were like, October's gonna be fine. Like,
Yeah.
it felt so far
Oh,
away.
I remember that.
Yeah,
time.
and so we're like, let's just send out our save the dates. So we sent out our save the dates in like the first week of March, I think, when other people were sending out their like canceling or like what is it? Like save a new date, right? So that was in early March, and we are like, October will still be fine. Then like obviously, things started getting worse. And so it was in June or July, I think, where we decided like, let's just cancel our October wedding. We had another option to just postpone like that exact wedding and just postpone it to a later time.
Yeah.
But we figured like we have no idea when it's going to be okay, like what that's going to look like. So let's just cancel our original plan. And then instead we decided we're going to do just like an intimate ceremony just with our immediate families. Which we were kind of like relieved about too.
Yeah.
Just like not having to think about like, 150 people and like all of that. Dane kept asking me like, what if like October comes and like we find that it's actually okay to have weddings and like our friends are having weddings but we canceled ours? And I was like, I think I'm fine with that. Like if that were the case, then I would just be happy that my friends could have their weddings that they had originally planned. So that's just kind of what we talked about, and then ultimately decided not to do our original plan. And now we're saving like a lot of money. So we're like, okay, when we get our apartment, we can like maybe up our budget like a couple $100s, and it'll still be less than like the amount that we're saving.
I think it's gonna sound kind of cliche or like cheesy, but yes, a relationship is between you and like this other person, and it's a growth between the two of you. But I think like at the end of the day, it ends up being like a really big learning experience for yourself. You start learning about where your threshold is for patience, where your threshold is for certain like expectations, your threshold for a lot of different things. It's a constant learning experience through all the arguments, through all the fights. Arguments and fights are the same thing. And all the times you then come together to talk through certain things. It's obviously for each other, but it really brings you forward. And I guess that's kind of the best marker for a good relationship, is that you can also grow within and through each other, but then really just become the person that you want to be at the end of it.
The thing that I'm thinking about as we're going into marriage is like, we grew up in different families, and even if you have like the same base values, which I think is very important for a relationship, the same morals, values, like that kind of thing, like you're just raised in different households,
Totally
right?
different.
And so I think as you go through a relationship, those things slowly start to come out, though not like super directly, just in the terms of like the way that you react to things and all of that. And then when you get to marriage, which of course neither of us are married yet, so this is all just us like hypothesizing, it's like those are just going to come to light a bit more. So I agree, like a really good relationship like allows you to like get self-awareness about like, okay, why am I the way that I am? Which helps you then have empathy for and understand like why someone else is the way they are. And you're slowly just learning that through all the tension and arguments that you might have, and you get to the root of that. And so I think like a strong relationship, you understand like those root causes of things, and then either you like work on them if they're like toxic or something, or you just understand and like adapt to each other.
Exactly.
So,
Here.
Anyway, thanks Megan for
You're welcome.
being on my channel again.
It's always so much fun.
Yes, we always have wine in hand too.
Your subscribers are gonna start seeing a trend of like, okay, when Megan's on any video, there's always wine involved.
I hope that this was nice, even if it's just for like the vibes of being outside. Let me know what other types of videos you want to see. Like, I love doing career focused videos, but I also want to do like just share other parts of my life. So that's kind of like where this came from, where we were like, we have a lot that we want to talk through. Too much wine at 11 a.m. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Bye. It's so hot. It's actually not bad.